Popularity here as more pick it up at private academies or in school. Already it's reaping the rewards as 2 Singaporeans became the first fencers to qualify for the Olympics earlier this week. But as Alif Amshad finds out, fencing is not just a fancy sport for the rich.
This 16-year-old avid fencer picked up the sport 4 years ago, and people often get curious why she chose fencing.
When I tell people I'm a fencer, firstly they ask a lot of questions about it, like, is fencing painful? Is it an expensive sport? When I answered them, they gained more interest about the sport, and some of them even asked whether they could join.
Despite the pandemic, some private academies are scoring more students.
After the relaxation of measures during the phase 2 and 3, we actually saw an increase of sign-ups of around 60% compared to pre-COVID. And when they actually get to experience this sport themselves, they are more keen to actually sign up and continue.
It currently has about 50 students across 4 skill levels. They include classes for the little ones and high-intensity sessions for competitive fencers. Classes here cost between $220 and $330.
There's a misconception that actually fencing is like a rich man's sport where we need to put in a lot of money. The initial investment of buying the equipment is more than, let's say, taekwondo or swimming, but it's actually around $500 for a standard set, similar to learning piano or paying for tuition.
It's also about making the sport more accessible.
As compared to, I would say, maybe a decade ago, there are definitely more channels for the population to get involved with the sport. Fencing is actually made available at almost all the institutes of higher learning and 12 secondary schools in Singapore.
Meantime, Fencing Singapore is working with local clubs to bring the sport to more schools in the country.
That's Singapore Tonight. Your headlines anytime at cna.asia, Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. Good night.